Have you noticed rich people's homes always have that soft, expensive look on the outside? It's not just the house, it's the paint. There's a special technique they all use. It's not new, but it's everywhere. Mansions, luxury hotels, even celebrity homes. So I got curious. What makes this paint so special? Why are wealthy people choosing it again and again? I decided to try it in my own house. And honestly, the results shocked me. It didn't just change the color, it changed the whole vibe of my home. In this video, I'll show you the paint, the process, and the big reason why it's so popular. And don't worry, you don't need to be rich to do it. Let's dive in. 1. Where this trend comes from, and why the rich love it. So, where did this paint trend actually come from? Well, it's not something new. It's not some modern invention from a paint company. This style goes way back, hundreds of years, actually. If you've ever seen an old European town, with stone houses that look soft and aged in the best way, you've probably seen this paint. It was used in ancient buildings, castles, old villas, and little countryside homes in France and Italy. And now, rich homeowners are bringing it back. Why? Because it gives your house that natural, high-end look. It doesn't scream for attention. It just feels calm, expensive, and elegant. What makes this paint different is that it's not shiny or bright. It's not the kind of paint you slap on a wall in one color and forget about. It has texture. It looks cloudy, almost like the wall is part of the earth. It blends into nature. And when sunlight hits it, the wall seems to glow in different ways throughout the day. That's what makes it feel alive. I started seeing this style everywhere. On luxury homes in Beverly Hills. On restored farmhouses. Even in modern mansions where people want that old-world charm. I noticed that many designers are using this paint on fireplaces, garden walls, and even interior spaces to bring in that same peaceful, expensive feel. And every time, the result looks so much better than regular paint. It's more natural. More relaxed. It doesn't look like it came from a paint can, it looks like it's always been there. What's really interesting is that this paint doesn't just sit on top of the wall like regular paint. It sinks in. It bonds with the surface. That's why it ages beautifully. Over time, it fades in the most gentle way. No cracking. No peeling. Just soft changes that make it look better and better. That's a big reason why people with money love it. They know real beauty takes time. And this paint becomes part of the home. I know, you're probably thinking, okay, but what is it? I promise, I'll tell you the name in the next part. And trust me, once you know it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. 2. The big reveal, what this paint is actually called. Alright, time for the big reveal. The paint that rich people are obsessed with is called limewash. Sounds simple, right? But it's not just any paint. Limewash is made from crushed limestone that's been heated, mixed with water, and turned into a creamy, natural paste. This mix has been used for centuries on old homes, castles, and even temples. And guess what? It's still just as beautiful today. Limewash doesn't work like regular paint. It's not thick. It's not full of chemicals. It's natural and soft. When you apply it, it sinks into the wall, not just sits on top. It blends with the surface. That's why it looks so smooth and cloudy. And the best part? It moves with the light. Another cool thing? Limewash has a kind of chalky look. But in a good way. It gives your walls that worn-in style, like they've been touched by time. That's the charm. It's not shiny or perfect. It's soft. It's calm. And it makes any house look high-end, without trying too hard. When I first saw limewash, I honestly thought it was something fancy and hard to get. But the truth is, it's actually pretty simple to find. Some top brands are now making ready-to-use limewash paint in all kinds of shades: earthy whites, soft grays, warm beige, even dusty greens and blues. But no matter the color, the feel stays the same. Natural. Peaceful. Expensive. Now here's what really surprised me. Limewash is breathable. That means it lets moisture escape from your walls, so it doesn't trap water like normal paint. That's why old stone buildings that use limewash are still standing strong. Now that we know what it is, the next big question is, how hard is it to actually use? Can you apply it yourself? Or do you need a pro? That's exactly what I tried to find out. And let me tell you, it was a journey. Let's get into that in the next part. 3. I tried limewash, and this is what happened. Okay, so now I know the name, limewash. I had seen it in luxury homes. I had read about it. But I still had one big question: can a regular person like me actually use this stuff? So, I decided to try it myself. First, I picked a small wall outside my house. I didn't want to mess up the whole exterior. I just wanted to test it out. I ordered a bucket of ready-made limewash online. It came in this creamy, thick liquid. When I opened the lid, I was surprised. It didn't smell like normal paint. It smelled earthy, like stone and water. That's when I knew this was going to be different. I grabbed a big brush. Not a roller. You have to use a brush with limewash because it gives that soft, streaky look. I dipped it in and started brushing it on the wall. And wow! The first few strokes looked kind of strange. It went on like cloudy water. I thought I messed up. But then I waited. After a few minutes, it started drying. That's when the magic happened. The wall looked soft. Natural. It wasn't just one flat color. It had layers. It looked aged in the best way, like the wall had history. I couldn't stop staring at it. The sun hit it, and it looked completely different from one angle to the next. It felt like I had painted my home with a piece of Europe. Now, I won't lie, limewash isn't like using normal paint. You have to be patient. It dries fast. And you may need to do 2 or 3 coats to get the look you want. But it's so worth it. Every coat adds more texture and depth. Also, one big tip: the surface matters. Limewash works best on brick, stone, or stucco. Not so much on plastic or smooth painted walls. So make sure to test a small area first. I did, and it helped me get the feel of it before doing more. By the end of the day, I stood back and looked at that wall. It didn't just look painted. It looked transformed. It felt like I had taken a regular wall and given it a luxury upgrade. And the best part? I did it myself. In the next part, I'll tell you what happened a few days later, how the look changed, what my neighbors said, and whether it actually lasted in the weather. You might be surprised. 4. A few days later, what changed and what stayed the same. So, a few days passed after I finished painting the wall with limewash. And honestly, I was a little nervous. Would it fade? Would it look patchy? Would the rain wash it off? I kept checking it every day, and what I saw really surprised me. First, the color actually got better. Limewash doesn't stay the same right after you paint it. It continues to change as it dries and settles into the wall. The texture became more soft and smooth. The color evened out, but still had that natural, cloudy look. It didn't look flat like normal paint. It looked like stone, like it belonged there. Then it rained. I thought, okay, this is it. It's going to melt off. But guess what? Nothing happened. The wall looked the same. Limewash is breathable, but once it's dry, it sticks really well. It's not like chalk that rubs off easily. It becomes part of the surface. Now here's something I didn't expect. People started noticing. A few of my neighbors walked by and said, "What did you do to your wall? It looks expensive." One even asked if I hired a designer. I laughed and said, "Nope, just me and a bucket of limewash." It felt good. I didn't spend a lot of money, but the wall looked like it came from a magazine. I also noticed how the color looked different depending on the time of day. In the morning, it looked soft and bright. In the evening, it turned warm and cozy. It felt alive. That's something regular paint just can't do. Limewash reacts to light and weather. That's why rich people love it. It always looks interesting. But I won't lie. It's not perfect for every surface. I could see that limewash might not stick well to smooth, glossy paint. It works best on brick, stone, or textured walls. By now, I was already thinking about doing more. Maybe the full front wall. Maybe the garden wall too. Limewash had changed the whole feel of my home, and I was hooked. Next up, I'll tell you exactly how much it cost me, and whether it's really as luxury as it looks. You might be shocked by how budget-friendly this rich-looking paint really is. 5. The cost. Is it really that expensive? Alright, let's talk about the part everyone wants to know, the price. When I first heard that rich people love limewash, I thought it had to be super expensive. I imagined something only designers and luxury builders could afford. But the truth? I was so wrong. Let me break it down for you. I bought a 1-gallon bucket of ready-made limewash paint online. It cost me around $45. That's it. And that one bucket was enough to cover a small wall outside. If you're doing a bigger area, you'll need more, of course. But even then, it's not crazy expensive. Here's the cool part. You don't need fancy tools. No rollers, no spray machines. Just a large brush, which cost me about $10. That's it. I already had an old ladder, some painter's tape, and a bucket for water. So in total, I spent less than $60 to get started. Not bad, right? And get this. Limewash is so forgiving, you don't need to be a pro. You don't have to worry about perfect lines. In fact, the messy brush strokes are what make it look natural and high-end. Now, if you want to go fancy, yes, there are high-end limewash brands out there. Some are handmade in Europe, with richer colors and special textures. Those can cost over $100 a gallon. But honestly, the one I used looked amazing without the fancy label. Also, remember this, limewash lasts a long time. You don't need to repaint every year. It fades slowly and beautifully. And when you want to freshen it up, just add another coat. It blends right in. No peeling. No scraping. That means more savings in the long run. So is limewash really expensive? Not at all. It only looks like it is. And maybe that's the secret. It gives you that rich, timeless look, without breaking the bank. In the next part, I'll show you the before and after. You'll see how one wall completely changed the vibe of my home. And trust me, it's worth seeing. 6. The transformation, before and after. Now, here's where things get exciting. You've heard about limewash. You've seen how easy it is to apply and how affordable it can be. But what really matters is how it looks once it's all done. So, let me show you the before and after. Before I started, my wall looked, well, pretty plain. It was just regular, standard paint. A bit faded. A bit lifeless. Nothing special. Honestly, it didn't stand out. It was just part of the house, not the feature. But after applying the limewash, wow! The difference was amazing. The wall went from dull and flat to soft, textured, and full of life. Limewash created this beautiful depth that I hadn't seen before. When the sunlight hit the wall, it almost seemed like the paint was glowing. It wasn't shiny, but it had this soft, warm radiance. Every angle showed a new, subtle shade. The longer I looked at it, the more I noticed the little details. The way it picked up the light, the way the texture seemed to change with the weather. It felt like the wall had a personality now. I couldn't stop showing my friends and family. They were amazed. Some of them even said it looked like the house had been professionally done by an interior designer. And don't forget, this was just one wall. I could already picture doing the whole house in this beautiful, earthy limewash. It would make the entire place feel like a luxury home, without the luxury price tag. But there's more. After a few weeks, I started noticing something else about the limewash. It looked even better with time. It had that lived-in charm. It wasn't a painted wall anymore. It felt like a natural part of the house. And that's the magic of limewash. It only gets better. In the next part, I'll share some tips and tricks if you want to try limewash on your own home. Trust me, it's easier than you think. 7 Tips and tricks, what you should know before you start. So now that you've seen the transformation, maybe you're thinking, should I try limewash too? The answer is yes, but before you begin, let me share some helpful tips and tricks. These will save you time, money, and maybe even a few mistakes. Tip 1. Test a small area first. Before you paint the whole wall, pick a small spot to try. Limewash dries differently than it looks when it's wet. The color will fade and soften. So do a little test patch and wait a full day. See how it looks before doing the rest. Tip 2. Wet the wall before painting. This is really important. Limewash works best on damp surfaces. Just spray some water on the wall before you apply it. Not dripping wet, just slightly damp. This helps the paint spread smoothly and soak in better. Tip 3. Use a big brush, not a roller. Limewash isn't like regular paint. It needs to be brushed on to get that soft, cloudy look. A wide masonry brush is perfect. Don't worry about perfect strokes. The uneven, random strokes are what make it beautiful. Tip 4. Protect the area around your wall. Limewash is watery, so it can drip. Cover the ground, windows, and plants near the wall. Wear old clothes too, it can splash. And if you get it on something, clean it fast before it dries. Tip 5. Don't panic if it looks patchy at first. Right after you paint, it might look messy. That's normal. Limewash changes as it dries. Give it 24 to 48 hours. You'll be surprised how much it evens out on its own. These simple tips can really help, especially if it's your first time trying limewash. And remember, don't be afraid. It's a fun project, and the results are totally worth it. Next, I'll share why this paint technique is more than just a trend. There's a deeper reason rich people are in love with it, and once you hear it, you might be too. 8. Why do rich people really love limewash? Now you might be wondering, why are rich people so obsessed with this old paint style? It's just paint, right? Well, not really. Limewash is more than just a look. It's a whole vibe. It tells a story. And that's why luxury homes, designer houses, and even fancy hotels are using it everywhere. Let's start with this. Limewash has history. It's been used for hundreds of years. Old castles, villas, and churches in Europe still have limewash walls. So when you use it, your home gets a classic, timeless feel. It doesn't scream for attention. It whispers elegance. And that's what rich people love, quiet luxury. Also, limewash is unique every time. No two walls look exactly the same. The brush strokes, the way the light hits it, the way the color fades, it's always a little different. It makes your home look custom, not cookie cutter. That's a big deal when you're spending millions on a property. You want it to feel special. One of a kind. And guess what? Limewash also ages beautifully. Most paint looks worse as it gets older. It peels, cracks, or fades in a bad way. But limewash, it fades gracefully. It becomes softer, richer, and more lived in. Kind of like a leather bag or a vintage wine. It gets better with time. That's a real charm. There's also a deeper reason. Rich people care about natural, healthy materials. Limewash is made from limestone and water. That's it. No harmful chemicals. It's safe for your home and safe for the planet. It's even good for the walls, it lets them breathe. That's something eco-friendly designers love. So when you combine all of this, the history, the beauty, the natural feel, the aging, and the quiet luxury, you get a paint that feels rich, inside and out. And the best part? You don't need to be rich to try it. So, now you've seen why rich people love this paint. I tried it, and it gave my home a soft, rich look, without spending a lot. It's not just paint, it's a full makeover. If you want your home to feel fresh and classy, this is a great place to start. Would you try it? Let me know in the comments. Tell me where you'd use it, your front wall, your porch, or maybe inside. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who loves home ideas. So yes, rich people are obsessed with limewash. But now, So am I. And after seeing what it did to my home, I think you might be next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.